Brian and Anna Walshe appeared to be living the American dream. They were a family of 5, settled in the picturesque town of Cohasset, Massachusetts, a quiet, affluent suburb just outside Boston, where tree-lined streets and stately homes paint a picture of comfort and success. Their neighbors saw them as a typical loving family raising 3 young boys in a safe and supportive community. But behind the white picket fence, their lives were anything but ordinary. Brian, once a promising art dealer, was now a stay-at-home dad, his freedom restricted by an ankle monitor after being charged with art fraud. He spent his days caring for their children, confined mostly to the house, while Anna, a driven Serbian immigrant, built a successful career as a real estate executive. Her job demanded frequent travel to Washington, D.C., leaving Brian to juggle the responsibilities of home and family alone. Their roles defied convention. Anna was the primary breadwinner, ambitious and energetic, while Brian managed the household. Yet beneath the surface, financial pressures and uncertainty simmered. The couple often discussed bills and debts late into the night, trying to balance the costs of their lifestyle with Brian's legal expenses and Anna's demanding work schedule. Outwardly, the Walshes maintained an image of stability and celebration. They hosted elegant New Year's Eve parties, dreamed aloud about building a new home, and seemed to cherish their time together as a family. But behind the scenes, mounting debts, ongoing legal troubles, and a recently updated life insurance policy hinted at deeper issues. That policy, meant to provide security, would soon take on a chilling significance. Friends and colleagues described Anna as vibrant, hard-working, and deeply devoted to her children. She was the heart of the family, always striving to give her boys the best. Yet those closest to the couple noticed a growing strain. Brian's legal troubles weighed heavily on their marriage, and Anna's demanding career left her exhausted and often away from home. The stress was palpable, even if rarely discussed openly. To outsiders, the Walshes seemed to have a bright future ahead. Their children were thriving, their home was filled with laughter, and their plans for the future appeared ambitious and hopeful. But the reality was far more complicated than anyone could have guessed. Behind closed doors, the pressures of legal battles, financial uncertainty, and the demands of work and family life began to take their toll. Arguments became more frequent, and secrets started to build up, creating a tension that was hard to ignore. It wouldn't be long before the carefully crafted image of a happy, successful family would be shattered, replaced by headlines and police tape. What once looked like a modern American dream was about to unravel, revealing a nightmare that no one saw coming. The first day of 2023 dawned cold and quiet in the small Massachusetts town where Anna and Brian Walshe lived. While most families were still celebrating the new year, Brian told police that Anna had left their home early that morning, claiming she had a sudden work emergency in Washington, D.C. According to Brian, Anna hurried out with her luggage, catching a rideshare to the airport before sunrise. He said she was anxious to get to the capital for an important meeting, leaving behind her husband and their 3 young children. At first, this explanation seemed plausible. Anna was known for her demanding job and frequent travel, but when she failed to show up at work on January 4th, her colleagues immediately sensed something was wrong. She was always reliable, and missing a day without notice was completely out of character. Concerned, her co-workers contacted the police and reported her missing, before Brian himself did. This unusual move raised immediate red flags for investigators, who wondered why her husband hadn't sounded the alarm first. Police quickly began to piece together Anna's last known movements. They found no record of a rideshare picking her up, no evidence of a flight booked in her name, and no security footage of her at the airport. Even more troubling, Anna's phone had last pinged near her home a full day after she supposedly left for D.C. As detectives dug deeper, Brian's story began to unravel. His timeline was inconsistent, and he seemed evasive when pressed for details. The delays in reporting Anna missing and the gaps in his account alarmed investigators, who started to suspect foul play. Meanwhile, Anna's friends and neighbors organized search parties, distributed missing person posters, and held candlelight vigils, clinging to hope that she would be found safe. But as days passed with no sign of Anna, hope slowly gave way to fear and heartbreak. The investigation shifted focus, from searching for a missing woman to uncovering the truth about what happened inside the Walshe home that New Year's Day. Police cordoned off the house, searching for any clue that might explain Anna's sudden disappearance. The community, once hopeful, now watched in shock and dread, as suspicion increasingly centered on Brian. News crews gathered outside the family's home, and neighbors whispered anxiously about what might have happened behind closed doors. The question haunting everyone was no longer simply, "Where is Anna?" but rather, what really happened to her? The case had become a mystery that gripped the entire town. As the investigation gained momentum, detectives prepared for a long and difficult search for answers. The story of Anna's disappearance was only just beginning to unfold. Brian's delayed report and shifting alibis made him the prime suspect. Investigators tracked his movements, noting he was only allowed out for approved activities due to house arrest. Surveillance footage showed Brian at Home Depot buying mops, tarps, and tape. Far more than any household chore required. This shopping trip, just after Anna vanished, suggested a massive cleanup. Police expanded their search to local waste facilities, where they found blood-stained trash bags, a hatchet, a hacksaw, and a rug from the Walshe home. Brian was arrested for misleading police, but the evidence was mounting. The case shifted from missing person to homicide, with Brian at the center. The physical evidence told a grim story. Even without a body, the trail was clear. The investigation was closing in. Brian's digital footprint became a virtual confession. On his son's iPad, he searched for how long before a body starts to smell, and how to stop a body from decomposing on the day Anna vanished. The searches grew more specific. 10 ways to dispose of a dead body. How long for someone to be missing to inherit, and can you be charged with murder without a body? These weren't idle curiosities, they were a chilling guide to murder and cover-up. The prosecution argued the search history showed premeditation and a desperate attempt to erase evidence. The defense tried to downplay the searches, but the timing and content were damning. The iPad became a silent witness, revealing Brian's calculated mindset. The digital evidence aligned perfectly with the physical trail. The physical evidence in this case was nothing short of staggering. From the very beginning, investigators were confronted with a scene that told its own story, one of violence, desperation, and a failed attempt to erase the truth. In the trash, police discovered a Tyvek suit, slippers, a rug, a hatchet, and a hacksaw. Each item was stained with Anna's DNA, turning ordinary cleaning supplies and household tools into chilling evidence. These weren't just random objects, they were the silent witnesses to a gruesome crime, each one carrying traces of the victim. Forensic experts took the stand to explain how Anna's DNA was found on the blades in the suit. Their testimony left little room for doubt, directly linking these tools to the crime and to the person who wielded them. The science was meticulous, the results irrefutable. Both Anna's and Brian's DNA were identified on bloodstains inside the trash bags, a discovery that placed them both at the heart of the cleanup operation. This crucial detail suggested not only who was present, but also who tried to cover up the crime. The prosecution argued that Brian wore the Tyvek suit to dismember Anna, then meticulously attempted to erase every trace of what he had done. They painted a picture of a calculated effort to destroy evidence, but one that ultimately failed under the weight of forensic science. Inside the Walshe home, investigators found bloodstains and a bloody knife. Both matched Anna's DNA, confirming that a violent act had taken place within those walls. The home, once a place of safety, had become a silent witness to tragedy. The sheer volume of evidence collected from the house and the trash was overwhelming. Bags of items, each meticulously catalogued, formed a mountain of proof that could not be ignored or explained away. Even without a body, the scientific trail was undeniable. DNA, blood patterns, and forensic analysis all pointed to the same chilling conclusion, leaving little doubt about what had transpired. The story that emerged was one of murder, dismemberment, and a failed cover-up. Every piece of evidence, every forensic result, added another layer to the narrative, making the truth impossible to hide. In the end, the case against Brian was formidable, built not just on suspicion, but on a mountain of scientific proof and relentless investigative work. Prosecutors argued Brian killed Anna out of greed and desperation. Anna had a $2.7 million life insurance policy with Brian as the sole beneficiary, while he faced massive debts and legal troubles. The motive was clear: financial gain and escape from his problems. The means and opportunity were established. A murder in the home after a New Year's Eve gathering, with the children asleep. The cleanup, internet searches, and DNA evidence all pointed to a calculated act. Prosecutors dismantled Brian's lies, showing his actions were those of a killer, not a grieving husband. The evidence painted a picture of premeditation and cold-blooded murder. The jury was left with little doubt about Brian's guilt. Brian's defense focused on creating reasonable doubt, not offering an alternative theory. They admitted he lied and disposed of Anna's body, but denied murder. The defense argued the absence of a body meant no clear cause of death, suggesting Anna could have died accidentally. They claimed Brian panicked due to his criminal record, not because he was a killer. The defense challenged the financial motive, calling the insurance policy routine. They urged the jury to separate Brian's lies from the act of murder. Brian did not testify, avoiding cross-examination. The defense pleaded for the jury to find reasonable doubt. After weeks of testimony, the jury began deliberations. The courtroom was tense as everyone awaited the verdict. On December 15, 2025, the jury announced they had reached a decision. The verdict was read, guilty of first-degree murder. Anna's family wept with relief. Brian stood motionless, expressionless. Court officers handcuffed him and led him away, his freedom gone. The judge thanked the jury for their service. Sentencing was set for December 17th. The trial was over and justice, in the eyes of the court, was served. Anna's loved ones finally had closure. The jury's verdict was the result of overwhelming circumstantial evidence. Brian's actions, lies, and digital trail pointed to only one conclusion: he murdered Anna for financial gain. The internet searches on the day Anna vanished showed premeditation and consciousness of guilt. The physical evidence, cleaning supplies, DNA on tools, and blood in the home, created an unbreakable chain. The defense's plea for reasonable doubt was undone by Brian's own behavior. His delayed reporting, web of lies, and emotionless demeanor sealed his fate. The evidence he tried to destroy became the proof that convicted him. Justice for Anna Walshe was finally achieved. The nightmare was over, but the scars would remain.